Hello, and welcome to the LFD Solution video tutorial program. My name is Tara Wong, and this is Chapter 2 of a 9-chapter series where we will introduce you to our Samsung Smart Signage platform and how to use our Magic Info solution. In this chapter, you will learn what Magic Info Author is and how to install it, and we will walk you through a tutorial on how to create content in Author and upload it to the Magic Info server. Now, let me introduce Tony Pham from the B2B Solution Consulting Group. He will be presenting today's chapter to you.
Hello, and welcome back. My name is Tony Pham, and for this chapter, I will give you a tutorial on how to create contents in Magic Info Author and publish it to the LFDs. There are 3 different authoring softwares that you can use. There's Magic Info Author, designed to create contents for standalone signage. There's Magic Info Video Wall Author, which is for video wall content creation. Finally, there's Web Authoring, which is an embedded software inside Magic Info server that allows you to create contents and save it directly to the server. This is for both standalone and video wall signage. For this chapter, we'll focus exclusively on Magic Info Author. Keep in mind that when you're using Magic Info Author, your options will be limited to the players that you're using. Thus, you might see different options for S, S2 players, or I player. For this tutorial, we will be creating contents for the S2 player. Installing Magic Info Author is very easy and simple. All you have to do is just double-click on the icon, select your language, and then just go through hitting Next because there aren't any options that you can select. Next, agree. Choose where you want to install Magic Info Author, and then the software will begin installing. And just like that, you are ready to use Magic Info Author. Now, once the installation has finished, you must activate the software. So double-click on Magic Info Author, and you will be asked to input in the license key. If you have the license key, this is the time to use it. For this example, I will be using the free license key. Now, there are 2 ways to activate the license key. Either connected when your computer is connected to the internet, or disconnected when you do not have an internet connection. If you use connected, it is actually very easy. However, for this example, I will be using the disconnected way. So, I select disconnected. At the bottom where it says read activation key, click on it, and then navigate to where your license key is at. Then you will get a pop-up that says activation is completed. Hit OK, and now you are ready to run the program. Now, once you have activated your license key, let's run Magic Info Author. I will give you a tutorial on how to create contents, resize it, and change the time so that you can get used to the Magic Info Author. Now here you will see this is the main GUI. At the top is the toolbars. It allows for shortcut to operations that you might want to do when editing your content. To the left is the content box. Here you can drag over different elements of your choosing to create your content. Clicking on the arrow button will bring up different options of elements that you can see through. For example, in multimedia, you have images, videos, input source, text, etc. At the bottom left, you have the property tabs. This is where you can change the properties of your elements as you see fit. Finally, at the very bottom is the timeline and page line tab. A timeline has a timeline of the different elements that you're using. Each page line contains individual timeline. The difference between them is that a timeline is a part of a page line, whereas each page line can have different timeline. For example, your page line can be page line 1, page line 2, and when you're creating your content, it will run in sequential order. So page line 1 goes first. Okay, so let's create our content. Go to the upper left-hand corner, click on File, New Contents. Here, change your player type to S2 player. I would change my content's name to as a sample scenario and pretty much leave everything else the same. Hit create. Okay, now this is our template. Look to the left, you will see 5 tabs here, right? Files, Elements, Template, Server, and Data Link. Go to the Template tab. Here, you can drag out any image you want. This will serve as our background image. Okay, now drag it so that it fills up the entire screen. Good. Now we are going to add individual element to our canvas screen. So let's go to multimedia. We are going to drag over the input source. We are going to drag over the text. Now, before we do anything else, go to your desktop and let's create a folder. We're going to call this the media slide folder. In that folder, I want you to put in, let's say, some images and a video. So let's copy and paste it to our media slide folder. Okay, good. Back to Magic Info Author, you would see the media slide icon. Drag the media slide icon onto your canvas and you will get a pop-up box. Navigate to the same folder that we had just created. And as you can see here, this is where my media slide folder is at. Hit OK. Finally, let's put in a video. So, video. Let's find a video that we can use. So I'll just find a video of my own. Now that we have everything over here, let's resize it. So I will resize my media slide like that, like that. And my videos, we can make it like that. And then finally my scrolling text, like that. Okay. Now we have resized our elements. Now let's change it up around a little bit to make it more interesting, okay? If you navigate to the bottom, look for the timeline icon. And as you can see here, this has a timeline of all of our individual elements and how long they would run for. You see here where it says duration. This is how long all of the contents will run. Let's change up a little bit. So do what I do. We're going to reduce the video from 1 minute to just 30 seconds. We're going to change the text from 1 minute to 30 seconds. We're going to do it for all the other elements. But as you can see here, what I'm doing now is that I'm making it so that 2 of the elements are playing in the beginning for the first 30 seconds, and 2 of the elements are playing in the last 30 seconds. Okay? Now, let's edit some of the properties that we have. As you can see here, I'm going to click on my input source, look to the bottom left in the property tab, and where it says input type, change it from component to HDMI. Now for our text, double click on it so that we can change what is written. Now again, look at the bottom left-hand corner. Scroll down and look for animation direction. Where there is none, choose left to right. Now our text will be scrolling from the left to the right. Now that we're done editing the properties of our elements, we can actually preview what it would look like on the LFD before we even publish it to the server. And if you look at your toolbars, you will see two green play buttons that you can use to preview what you have created so far. So let me do just that. As you can see here, remember, I chose 2 elements to play in the first 30 seconds and 2 elements to play in the last 30 seconds. So in about, let's say, another 15 seconds, you will see it switch over to the other 2 elements that I have created. Now, when you are ready to publish your content to Magic Info Server, go to the upper left-hand corner, File, and then Publish. This is the pop-up screen to upload content to Magic Info Server. You have to put in your server IP address, the port, the user ID, and the password. Now, there are different protocols that you can use to upload to Magic Info Server. There's HTTP, FTP, and local. Local is where you would save the content to your laptop for local playback later. For now, we will do FTP. My address is saved, my port is correct, my ID is correct, and my password is in. Hit the upload tick box, tick it, and then finally hit the publish button. As you can see here, I'm uploading from my Magic Info Author to my Magic Info Server. And when this is done, you will be able to see the contents show up here on Magic Info Server under the Content tab. Congratulations! Now you know how to create content in Magic Info Author, modify them, and publish them to Magic Info Server. See you at the next tutorial.
Thank you, Tony, for your presentation. So, in Chapter 2 today, you were given an explanation as to what authoring software we have, how to install it, and finally, how to create simple content with it to publish to the server. In the next chapter, Chapter 3, we will go over Magic Info Video Wall Author, which is an authoring software meant specifically for video walls, and Web Authoring, which is an authoring tool embedded into Magic Info Server. See you then!